This is a Squabble Studios production.
Hello, and welcome to Squabble, a noisy quarrel about something petty or trivial. I'm Carter.
And I'm Jacob.
And it's been too long since we said that.
It's been so long, dude. It's been, dare I say, a lifetime.
Oh, dare you. A whole lifetime.
Dare I say it.
A short lifetime, if it's a lifetime.
Yeah, you know what's funny about a lifetime?
Don't want to.
This isn't leading anywhere. It's just like you can't have a lifetime until you're dead. Like no one can fully be alive for a lifetime.
Oh, wait, what?
You can't have a lifetime until you're dead. Like it's not a full lifetime.
Oh.
If you're still living, you haven't lived a lifetime.
Naturally.
No, it's just crazy to think about.
Although a lifetime though is not an actual time period. It is a time. I guess a lifetime is, by definition, an ever-changing time of time.
I mean, yeah. Very true. So true.
Speaking of life, you know what's become my life recently?
What has become of your life recently, as of late?
Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Oh, haven't we all?
It's become my entire life. It's consumed every second of my days.
Yeah.
And
it's consumed specifically to me, my TikTok For You page.
Yes.
That's
I think we're both fair to say well versed in this topic.
Oh yeah. I watch the compilations. I actually watch
If you had
the actual just like live television stream. I don't know how many people do that. I just actually watched the case. Like
I've been the one to stream that television stream for thousands of people every day for the past
true. Yeah.
six weeks.
You've gotten paid to be into this thing.
True. True.
So you are a professional.
I have probably, if you were to say a percentage of the trial that you think you've watched, what would that be?
Ooh, there's a lot of downtime and stuff. I'd say I've probably seen half of it, genuinely.
50%?
Because like I've seen almost every single of like the viral moments, but I've also seen almost, not almost all, but a large chunk of just like the stuff that is pretty typical of a court case, like the stuff that doesn't blow up. Like I've seen a lot of that too, especially during like the first week of the trial. I was like watching it every morning. I'd like wake up and just put it on my phone while I got ready for my day. Yeah,
I would say I've probably watched 90%.
Yeah,
I think a nice round 90.
You really think so? Like
I really think so.
Like even with all like the freaking downtime of them looking for like the exhibits and stuff.
Yeah. I've gotten to work every single morning at like an hour earlier than my normal time I'm supposed to arrive, because that's when the court trial starts, in which case I need to stream. So I get there at like 7:30 a.m. and it starts at 8. And then I just cut clips. I watch the whole thing and cut clips I think are interesting. And then when it's over at like 3-ish, or my time anyway.
You're just a Twitch moderator on steroids, basically.
For real. And then what I do is while I'm watching it, and then even after it's done, I then write a script encapsulating what I had just watched that entire day. And then I go to a studio next door and record a video recapping everything I had just watched. And then I post it to Snapchat and rinse and repeat the next morning. And not only that, I think honestly, the only reason I only say 90% is because there have been times where I'm like, I have a meeting or something like that, and I pass on the stream to a coworker for a little bit. But that being said, I've also, I think, I've delved into the scope that is not just the trial, but the fan theories and like the whole fourth TikTok For You page. Like,
oh man,
like
what?
Carry
on. No, you can finish.
Like I know, like I did a video. I produced a video just about Camille Vasquez and her career. So like I have gone beyond the scope of the trial and like delved into these people's personal life.
You know like her career, is she like pretty new? Because she's pretty young, right, for a lawyer.
She works. Well, let me just tell you about it.
Tell me
She
all
works
about
for
Camille
Brown
Vasquez.
Rudnick, which is apparently a
high-profile,
well-established, high-profile, very well-known law firm in L.A. I believe it's based in L.A. And then, and she graduated. She went to law. She went to a college and she went to a law school. I don't know what exactly that means, but I believe she went to college in L.A. and then a law school.
Yep, she went to University of Southern California and then she went to Southwestern Law School.
Yes.
Okay, I guess she's older than she looks. She looks a lot younger. I guess she's like 40.
And she has worked with Depp before, Johnny Depp, and in another case. I can't quite recall what the case was. Just like business stuff, not anything crazy, not anything like this. But Johnny Depp was originally going to pick a different lawyer too.
Really?
And changed and picked her and picked Vasquez last second. So I think it was a good decision too by him. Anyway, I think since
wait. Is the other lawyer with them that guy is Ben Chu?
Yeah.
But Benjamin Chu, I guess, is also the name of some like historical figure.
Oh.
So it's really funny. I looked up Camille Vasquez and it said people also search for it. It said Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, and then Benjamin Chu, and it's like this picture of like this colonial looking dude, like this art, like this painting of a colonial dude. And I was like, that seems a little out of place. So that's unfortunate that dude pops up before the actual guy's face. But,
yeah, you don't want to be named after a historical figure.
Like Google Benjamin Chu right now. Do it. It's hilarious. He was a fifth-generation American, a Quaker-born legal scholar, a prominent and successful Philadelphia leader. So he also was worked in like he's the head of the Pennsylvania judiciary.
Oh, he was a Quaker-born legal scholar.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that funny that he pops up first? This dude.
Interesting.
So, anyway, wonder if he's a descendant.
All that being said, I think we are totally and justifiably able to name ourselves. Yeah, we're qualified to be jurors, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Hence the first page on this thing, it says impartiality. Definitely.
Right. Yes, we have the PDF here of the instructions that the judge gave to the jurors. So the jurors actually have this and are deliberating as we speak, and at the time of this recording anyway, and we now have it in our hands virtually on this PDF, and we're gonna answer the questions and we're gonna decide for ourselves.
Yes, sir.
And should we do like a disclaimer, like?
What kind of disclaimer? What do you mean?
I don't know that. I don't know.
That we're not experts and we have no idea what we're talking about?
What if Amber Heard comes to sue us? I don't know.
Well, if she's got the same lawyers, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm starting to think law school can't be that hard,
Yeah, I think they got their degrees from wish.com.
I don't know. I thought that too up until Johnny Depp's second time testifying, and Mr. Rottenborn really did pull it out of the bag. I gotta admit,
he came through.
He came through for that. The first time ever.
Rottenborn is the most lawyer name I've ever heard. That dude is evil. That dude is born to be evil. How's your name going to be Rottenborn?
See, this is why I said that we should put a disclaimer. Yeah, we're making slanderous statements here.
Okay, his name's Rottenborn, dude. How are you not going to be evil?
Okay, disclaimer hath been stated.
Wait, what is the disclaimer for? Is there anybody who's on Amber? Wait, no, we're impartial. We're impartial.
It's the disclaimer. Wink. If you're watching this.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just read the first page is titled Impartiality. You have been chosen and sworn as jurors, in this case to try the issues of fact presented. You must consider and decide this case fairly and impartially. You are to perform this duty without bias. Please raise your right hand, by the way. I think we need to do this.
I need a Bible.
All persons stand equal before the law and are entitled to the same treatment under the law. Our system of law does not permit jurors to be governed by sympathy, prejudice, or public opinion. Both the parties and the public expect that you will carefully and impartially consider all the evidence in the case, follow the laws stated by the court, and reach a just verdict regardless of the consequences.
Ooh, regardless of the consequences.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
There's some other pages.
Are we
that
reading
don't
this
need
one?
to-
Credibility of witnesses.
Nah.
The verdict not to be based on sympathy, bias, guesswork, or speculation. No sympathy.
No guesswork.
Here we go. Liability issues.
All right. Your verdict must be based on the facts as you find them and the law contained in all these instructions. With respect to plaintiff John C. Depp II.
Wait. He's the second?
Yeah, and his middle name's Christopher. His name is John Christopher Depp II.
Wow. Nice.
Claims against defendant Amber Laura Heard. The issues in this case are summarized below. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's answer these. There's a few, so we should pump through these. Number 1, whether Miss Heard made or published any of the following statements. A, quote, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. 100% she said that, right?
Yeah, that sounds exactly like something. I don't. Yeah, that's for sure.
For sure she said that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's no doubt in my mind. Sounds like something she'd say.
B, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. 100% she also said that.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I believe it.
I guess she doesn't have to say it. She made or published any of these statements. 100%.
Oh, the 2 years. Yeah, I mean, she reiterated all this stuff in the
For sure.
freaking thing.
C, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. Yeah,
Oh.
she said that.
That is that is a hot take, but I think that she said it. And I didn't say it was a good take. I said it was a hot take.
It is a hot take. I think number 1 is easy, 100%.
Yeah.
She is
Bing.
guilty
Ding.
of that.
That's like the test question.
Yeah, that's like, were you paying attention? Question.
Yeah. That's like it's not even like incriminating to her necessarily.
Okay,
It's
okay.
just yeah.
2, do you want to read this one?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
Do any of Miss Heard's statements imply or insinuate anything about Mr. Depp? I mean, yeah, right.
100%. I don't see how they even argue that
This is
it's
even
not.
a question. Yeah, like I'm sure some of these will be more up for debate, but that one,
Yeah, especially
one-
when they had that one guy testify and say that the first draft of the article had Johnny Depp's name in it.
yeah,
I mean, come on.
for sure. I mean, everyone knows. I mean,
Yeah, it's
that's
so obvious.
the burden of being a celebrity.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go next. Were Miss Heard's statements seen by anyone other than Mr. Depp? Yes. Duh.
Yeah, she published it, right?
Well, of course, yeah. And then retweeted it on Twitter. And now everybody in the entire world's just seen it. So,
Yeah, true.
okay, you can read the next one.
Did Miss Heard's statements convey a defamatory implication to someone who saw them? Excuse me, other than Mr. Depp.
Wait, hold on. So, did her statements convey a defamatory implication to someone who saw them other than Mr. Depp?
I think it just means like if anybody other than Johnny Depp read it, would they have a defamatory view of Johnny Depp based off of the readings? I think is what that means.
Oh, I see. I would say.
I mean,
yes.
I would say, I'd say yeah. I mean, I
mean-
assume it depends how keyed in they are. Because, like, yeah, if my freaking, like, you know, if an 80-year-old man read that who doesn't have any social media or anything, would he know maybe it was exactly about Johnny Depp or whatever?
Maybe not Johnny Depp, but like if he would have read that and be like, "Oh, this woman defamed somebody."
Yeah,
They don't know him by name.
Yeah. This is I still feel like these are just like the check questions. Anyway, what's next?
5.
Number
Are
5.
the implications or insinuations about Mr. Depp in Miss Heard's statements false?
Okay, so this is like
Okay, now we're getting into some.
that's the hot take. Are the Mr. Depp's? Wait,
Are the implications about?
gosh, I
Mr.
can never
Depp
be a
false?
lawyer. Jeez.
So
Okay.
I would say so. This one's difficult because there was a lot of accusations.
Yeah,
there's a
and
lot of
here's the
alleged
thing.
incidents.
You want to hear my hot take about this case?
Yeah, give me the hot take.
Is that I honestly still think that Johnny Depp was not like a martyr. That dude was kind of an asshole in that relationship.
Oh,
seemingly.
100%.
Yeah, so I don't want to sit here and be like, no, she's like evil and he's like a saint, because I don't
Right.
think that's the case. I think they're both kind of crappy people and they both made each other crappier. But
I agree.
I definitely don't think that he ever hit her, and I definitely think she hit him. Is that a hot take? I think that one's pretty.
I think that is kind of a hot take. To see, maybe we should have a second disclaimer for anybody that's super Johnny Depp stan. Just like beware,
True.
you know.
Yeah, because like
trigger warning.
I'm taking that first one of impartiality to heart. I'm not gonna just sit
I'm
here
taking the impartiality to heart as well.
Like, I'm going just by what I saw in the case, not other people saying stuff. You know.
Because
and like I gotta say, sometimes I did hear some things, and I was like, "Ooh, that doesn't look so good for him." You know, like there were some their lawyers weren't good, but like her lawyers weren't like terrible. You know.
Now, I would say like a lot of the time I would be like watching, I would like hear something like that about Johnny Depp that's like really that makes him look really bad, and in that moment while I'm watching, I'm like, "Ooh, that does not look very good," but then. I've been so swayed. Like lawyers really be doing what they are trained to do because lawyers, then Depp's lawyers get up there and do their redirect, and I'm like, I've been very redirected. I'm like, yeah, well done.
True. This proved to me that I'm very easy to sway. I'm like, damn, that's a good point. And then the next guy goes, I'm like, oh, that's a good point too.
So
I would
the
hate
implications. What?
In the jury for this case. That's all I was gonna say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, that would suck.
I have never been called on to have jury duty, but I can't wait for my time. Everyone
I'd
always
like it for a
complains,
regular case, but not for this one.
Really?
Do you think for high profile cases like this, they specifically choose people? There's no way they just still
random. Oh, they always do for every case. The lawyers get to interview people and choose people.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they have they call in a bunch of people, and then the lawyers get to interview each person and decide who they want to be in the stand.
How did I not know this?
Yeah.
I thought that it was just like you had
so that they can make sure that like nobody's like Johnny Depp super fan, infiltrating the jury. Yeah,
interesting.
And for this one, since it's so high profile, they actually won't release the names of the jurors. For a whole year.
Wow. Well, their faces are in the background of every clip.
No, they're not. The cameras have never
just...
seen that's the galley. That's the audience.
If famous people in it.
In fact, during the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, a photographer got arrested for taking a picture of a juror on accident.
Oh, what?
Yeah, a picture was you could barely see one of the jurors in a photo, and the guy got arrested. They're pretty tight on the.
I would hate to, once again, high-profile cases like that, not want to be on the jury.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's probably for their safety, too, especially for controversial stuff like Kyle Rittenhouse, like even this one kind of controversial.
Yeah, even anything that's like high-profile.
Dang. Okay. Anyways, I don't know which question we're on.
We were still on 5. Are the implications or insinuations about Mr. Depp false? This is a hard one. I have to say, is it all of them? Are all the implications or
that's what I'm wondering also. Okay, another side tangent. If you're on the frickin' jury for this, is this just like a yes or no question, or do you get to like write out a little paragraph, or is this your supposed to like circle yes or no? That's what I don't know how this works.
She did explain it, but I can't remember exactly what she said. I do believe it's one of the things was like, well, okay, so I know this much, and that the burden of proof is on Johnny Depp, which means that Johnny Depp has to prove that Heard's statements were defamatory, not the other way around. Heard does not need to prove that Johnny Depp was not defamed. So if that changes how you're looking at this.
Okay, then I would say they are.
You would say that they are false?
Yeah.
I would say that they are as well because of how they were presented. I do think that Depp did some probably some horrible things.
Yeah.
And said some horrible things, but I do think that they were probably exaggerated, and I bet some of them were lies for sure. So I'm going to say yes. Okay, number 6, you want to read that one?
Did Miss Heard make the statements with actual malice? I think
say
so,
yeah.
Right? I mean, honestly, that one's like understandably. I mean, it's like if you feel that strongly about it.
I would say yes because did you see the whole TMZ thing?
No.
Did you see that guy testify?
No. So, yeah. With the 15 minutes of fame thing?
Yes.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. Where the lawyer was like, are you just here because you want to get famous or whatever? And he's like, I can say the same thing about you.
Yeah, and she was like, okay, that's not. She was like trying to, and then the judge was like, no, he's got a point or something like that. Like the judge was like, no, let him keep talking, because the lawyer tried to be like, blow him off.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I would say they all were because of that testimony, because what he testified to was that he kind of insinuated that Heard, or at least Heard's team, gave them like wanted it to be like a whole thing, like wanted it to be public. Like that's what he seemed to testify to. So if that is the case, which seemed very believable when he was saying it, I think that totally justifies for actual malice, right? Like you are purposely doing it to better yourself or worsen, your enemy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay, great. Number 7. If Mr. Depp is entitled to recover, what is the amount of Mr. Depp's damages?
Is this like how much money does she owe him? Like how much money we personally think?
I'd say like $100.
Just $100?
At least
$12. No. Here's the thing. Johnny Depp has said this before, and like I said, I don't think he's like a wonderful, wonderful person, or at least in this context. But I do believe him when he said that he really just wanted to win back the public favor, and I believe him in that. I think that she did a little bit of physical damage, I guess, but I think most of it was just he didn't want to go down in history as a terrible person and get his career ruined, because I think he enjoys what he does. So I don't think she necessarily owes him that much, because I think he's kind of already gotten that. I think if he can get that, I think money, I guess, is just like a side effect. So I don't know. Maybe $100 is right. Mans has got plenty of money. So I think he got what he came for.
Actually, isn't he bankrupt?
From this, maybe.
Well, I remember he went bankrupt, I guess maybe a couple of years ago, because he bought like $1 million worth of wine.
I don't know.
Like he declared bankruptcy.
Yeah, I'm looking at. You're right. I think there was in 2016, maybe.
Either way, I do think that you're right. That I actually heard someone say their theory basically was not to win this trial, but to just
it didn't really matter if they won the trial.
Yeah, because it doesn't really matter when it comes to defamatory
you think they're playing the game a little bit?
Yeah, I really do. I really think they do, because the person I was talking to, my coworker, it's like, yeah, because they've said all this, like a lot of their closing arguments were not really arguments for defamation, but arguments just for how bad of a person Heard is and how good of a person Depp is. Like that was like the whole thing. So honestly, that probably is part of their strategy, is just to kind of clear Depp's name as best they can, which I think they've definitely accomplished.
Oh, for sure. So we're on another page.
Maybe let's just circle back for this one. How about
that? We're put a pin in it.
Okay, the next page says, on these issues, Mr. Depp has the burden of proof. Your decision on these issues must be governed by the instruction that follows. With respect to Miss Heard's claims against Mr. Depp, the issues in this case are summarized below. Okay, number 1. Did Adam Waldman... Oh, this is about the Depp's previous attorney, Adam Waldman.
Skip.
You want... Do we want to...
we want to just skip this page?
Yeah, we'll just skip Adam Waldman's.
Yeah.
Should we just read the questions for the viewers? Or
I guess. Well, we'll put the link in the bio. They can check it out.
Yeah, link in the bio so you can be a juror.
You want to be on the jury?
Okay, here's... you shall only return your verdict for Mr. Depp on... See, just to backtrack on this previous page, I've watched this whole trial, and I've still been a little confused about the whole Adam Waldman thing. But I think that's because they had a UK trial about this too, which I was not involved in and didn't watch. Yeah, and so I think a lot of information they referenced in there, which was like totally over my head because I didn't follow that.
Yeah, that chunk may have been.
But just to put that out there. Anyway, you shall only return your verdict for Mr. Depp on his claim for defamation about the following statements if he has proved by the greater weight of the evidence that, number 1, Miss Heard made or published the following statement. Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. And, well, first of all, that's number one. Yes, I think we already established that. Mm-hmm. And number two, the statement was about Mr. Depp.
Yes.
100%, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's pretty much said in this trial, Johnny Depp sexually assaulted me.
Yeah, with a liquor bottle. But, we don't gotta get into that. And the statement is false. Oh.
Oh, man, not back to this. I don't think... Okay, well, yeah, actually, no, I think this one's easy because I think this is just in the sexual violence part. I don't think that she did.
So I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. That statement is false. So you are saying, no, she did not speak up against sexual violence, and she did not face our culture's wrath.
She did face culture's wrath, just seemingly justifiably.
Well, so there's two questions in here, really, is do you think that Johnny Depp sexually assaulted her?
Well,
because
no,
he
just
claims
she spoke up against it.
Oh.
Because I don't think
okay, that's
did.
true. She just said, I spoke up against sexual violence.
But if that's the statement, then I guess she did. And she did face our culture's wrath. So I guess the statement is not false.
Okay, I would actually disagree. I don't think she did. Because when she, remember, think back when this happened, and she did speak out about this. Johnny Depp got destroyed. Like, everybody hated Johnny Depp for a while because of the whole thing. And then it became like, and then everyone's mind was blown later when Depp said, he came out and he was like, no, I'm being abused. And everyone's like, oh my gosh. So right, I would disagree. I don't think she did.
He lost his job and stuff.
Yeah, he got kicked out of Pirate 6.
Yeah, she was fine, which should have been the case if it was true, but it wasn't. So I guess, you think you're right.
I would say that the statement is false.
Okay. Number 4. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Yeah.
I would say,
anyone with
wait, just this statement? Is it really just this one statement that we're looking at here? Where we're going statement by statement? Because if that's the case, this one statement, I don't think so.
Well, it does, because it's referencing her speaking out against sexual violence, which we all know who that was towards.
Yeah, but did she do it because, purposefully, is what, purpose to defame him? Is that the question?
I think she did, because obviously because I think it wasn't true. So what other reason would she say it?
Well, what if she did it for her own personal gain?
Is that not defamatory? It still is, even if she doesn't
I guess so.
it to be.
I would, yeah, that's right. That's true. Okay, I say yes then as well. So. Okay, number 5, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Miss Heard.
That's a good one. Do you think that it was fabricated, purposely?
They tried to argue this in closing arguments.
They did.
Because Heard's lawyers said that that she didn't originally come up with the idea to write the article. Mm-hmm. And that therefore she did not design or intend this in any way. I kind of disagree, because if she didn't, she would have... If that is true, that she didn't come up with the idea to write the article, and when somebody brought her the idea, she would have said, no, get that out of my face. But instead, she was like, that's a great idea, assuming that is true. Mm-hmm. So I would say, yes, it is designed and intended by Miss Heard.
Yeah, no, I think you just swayed me.
Okay, you want to read the last one?
Due to the circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Okay.
So if I read this not knowing who Mr. Depp was, would I say this is defamatory?
To this?
See, I disagree. I don't think so.
What? Why not?
If I did not know what this was about, and I read this, because remember, this is just this one statement. I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. I would read that and not think that anyone was defamed.
You're right. That's true. I guess I wouldn't either. But is it really just meaning this one statement? These literally 20 words? That
I think so. Yeah, because it goes to a second statement on the next page.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. Then, I guess not.
Okay. If Mr. If Mr. Depp further proved by clear and convincing evidence, 7, that Miss Heard made the statement with actual malice.
Yeah, she did have malice, though.
I do think so as well. 100%.
Yeah.
The whole TMZ thing really pushes it over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so sketchy there, and, like, the TMZ guy was like...
And the fact that she's pushed it so hard, too. Like, it's not even like she was like, you know what, I'm in over my head at this point. Like, not even that. Just, like, the fact that she's just, like all those things about her, like, pausing for pictures while she's crying and stuff like that. Like, all that stuff is just, like, okay.
Yeah, and it's just, like, how does TMZ have a copyright to her video if she didn't say that they could have it, right? Like, legally, they can't have a copyright to a video that she took unless she right?
Gave it to them willingly.
By the definition, that's how copyright works.
I think so. I'm no lawyer. I'm no Rottenborn, but
I'm no Vasquez, but okay. If Mr. Depp failed to prove any one or more of the 7 elements above, then you shall find your verdict for Mr. Heard with respect to the above statement.
You said Mr. Heard.
Oh, whoops.
She's like,
wait. Does that mean that since we found one of these not true, then we have to say that, right? If Mr. Depp failed to prove any one or more of the 7 elements above.
Yeah, I think it means for that. I think the reason why this is split up into all these different clips of statements is that I bet each one of these is like its own charge. You know what I mean?
Right. That does make sense.
So I bet for this one, then that would be like, okay, well, she's fine on that charge.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next. You shall only return your verdict for Mr. Depp on this claim for defamation about the following statement if he has proved by the higher weight of evidence that... Would you like to read this one?
Sure. 1. Miss Heard made or published the following statement. Then, 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out.
Yeah, she wrote that 100%.
Yeah, that's no question.
Number 2, the statement was about Mr. Depp.
Yeah. I mean, she wouldn't be a public figure representing domestic abuse without bringing the other person into it.
Agreed. Okay, next. The statement is false. Man, this is just a hard one. You know?
It is, because it's like, I guess the statement might be true, but I don't think you were necessarily a victim of domestic abuse. I don't really think he ever hit you.
Even if he did, I still say it's false because the sentence is, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath, which I've already established. I don't think she did.
Yeah.
I think she was first supported.
That too. Yeah, I agree.
So I would say it's false. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Implication? See, yeah, I think it's implied.
Yeah, this one's a little more. By saying that you were a public figure representing domestic abuse.
Yeah.
I think that's more, that's like more explicitly stating.
Because also, don't forget that second line, for women who speak out. Like, yeah, 100%.
Okay, and then this one's interesting. That the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Miss Heard. I think this one's true. I think she was thinking in her head that she was gonna be like a little hero. You know what I mean? Like, not even in a necessarily
100%.
bad way, but I think that's
like she accepted an award, or she joined the what is it? The women's rights. Like she was honored as she accepted some role in the women's rights something after she did this. Like she tweeted this out so that she could tweet right below that she had just announced her role in the whatever, like to be a public figure in the women's rights, whatever. So yeah, I think definitely there was some like gain for her.
Yeah. Okay.
Number 6, due to the circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. So there's the same questions for questions. Right. See, again, I think that's a no, because if I was reading this not knowing who Mr. Depp is, I would read that and just be like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hesitate on I felt the full force of her culture's wrath, because I still don't think she did. But I wouldn't think that this is defamatory to a random person. I would just think that this woman is speaking out.
True. Okay.
I gotta say no again.
And then back to the actual Malice question.
And did she do it with malice? Again, I think so. I think the entire article was done in malice. Therefore, every sentence was, right?
I think the relationship was so toxic. I think this was her. I think she just like. I think this whole thing really was her like pushing it a little too far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were doing whatever they could to like psychologically torture each other, and she was just like, you know what? I'm going all the way.
Interesting perspective.
That's my theory.
Okay, then this sentence is, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. Okay,
Okay, here we go.
Was it about Mr. Depp?
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
But is it false? I don't necessarily think it's false. I think she did have a very rare vantage point.
Yes.
Of seeing how those kinds of things play out.
So, and how institutions protect men accused of abuse.
It's not saying that like he was protected, because you're right, like, he did like lose his job. He got kicked out of movie franchises. But she did see how that all went down. So,
but would you say that the institutions protected him?
Well, not necessarily.
Well,
but
then
maybe
they would be
some,
false.
but maybe not very well. But I think that her saying how they do it is not saying that they do it.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean. It's just saying how they do. You know what I'm saying. It's not. She's
okay.
Not like she's saying,
you're really dissecting the sentence. I understand.
I just think that is what I think that it is. I don't necessarily think it's false. Like I think that this clip of it is not false. This one is hard because I don't necessarily think it's. Does it have a defamatory implication?
Yeah, the next one, does it have a defamatory implication? I would say yes, because of the how institutions protect men accused of abuse.
Sure, I guess then she's saying that
like
she's accusing him of abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
right?
You're right. Yeah.
And then the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard.
I think that's
for sure.
Be a yes for most of these.
Yeah, because she wrote the article. She published it. Due to the circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone other than Mr. Depp. This is the only one that I would hesitate in saying no, because
it's very vague.
It says how institutions protect men accused of power, which if I was reading this not knowing who Mr. Depp was, I would be surprised. I'd be like, oh, wow, an institution protected men, a man who was accused of sexual abuse?
It's not really very specific.
But
and then was it made with malice?
Was it made with malice? I would say 100%.
Yeah. I think like I said, that one's kind of same with the other one. I think it's all kind of the same thing.
Okay. Next statement. This is more Adam Waldman.
Okay, wait. We can still use it though, I think.
Okay. Adam Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the following statement. Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. He definitely did say it. I saw that. Yeah. Pretty sure he said that. Number 2, the statement is about Ms. Heard.
It's got her name in it. I think now it's pretty straightforward. The first 2 words in it are Amber Heard.
You don't say.
You don't say.
Okay, the statement was seen by someone other than Miss Heard. I keep saying Mr. Heard. I'm sorry.
I mean, at the time, I'm not sure. Obviously, now it has been.
Oh, well, of course. I think so. The statement is false.
I don't necessarily think it's false.
You do think it's false?
No, I don't necessarily think it's false.
I don't think it's necessarily false.
I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah. This is a tough one. They have
I know it's long too. I'm like having to break it down.
I know. Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations. See, you can't put fake sexual violence allegations. You can say sexual violence allegations, which insinuates that it is either truth or false, either true or false. But if you say false allegations, you're really
fake allegations is what weird. False isn't even bad, but just fake allegations.
Yeah.
That would imply that like he was in on it all, but that's what my mind would get to.
Well, no. If it's a fake allegation, that means it's not an allegation at all. But it was an allegation.
We really are breaking this
down. Therefore, Therefore,
think it was
yes,
meant to be
just
broken
to
down so
statement
closely.
3. It doesn't matter. If I'm a juror, I would be saying this to my
Sure,
other juror
especially
friends.
for this case, man.
I would be breaking it down this detail. So I'm going to say
Breaking it down, you'd be breaking it down.
I'd be
in the courtroom.
Amber Heard's interference in the media. Okay.
Gosh.
I would not be rapping about sexual violence. I'm sorry. Although
Sure,
that
this-
is just
this
every rap song.
this is a
Every rap
domestic
song
abuse
ever
case
produced
that we're
is just
talking
about sexual violence.
Hey, yo. It's a hot take. Oh, man.
Hot take.
Oh, God,
I
cut
mean,
that
at
out.
least 50%.
Someone clip that. Yikes.
Anyway, next question. The statement. Wait, what statement were we on? We were on the statement is false, right? Which we are skipping now. That the statement. If Miss Heard proved by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice. I think it was.
His?
Right?
I mean, yeah, fair. I don't know about malice. I think he was trying to prove a point. I don't think it was personal, like hers are.
Does malice can we define malice? I know we're
can.
real late in the game to define malice, but
Malice means the intention or desire to do evil, ill will. It's like intentionally doing something that you think is wrong or that you know is wrong.
okay, then that I would say no, because I would say that Adam Waldman thought and was confident that he was right when he made the statement. Right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So there was no malice.
Then yeah, I would say there's no malice. Contrary to Amber Heard, who wrote the article, if it really is false, like all those things, like if she was not abused and she wrote that article, then I would say that is malice because she didn't think she was abused, right? If that makes sense.
Fair.
Okay. All right, next one. Adam Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the following statements. Quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed up the place, got their stories straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, then placed a second call to 911. I've definitely... Yeah, this was definitely said. Was it about Miss Heard? It was. It's got her name in it again.
Yeah.
The statement was seen by someone other than Miss Heard. I think yes.
I assume.
And then finally the statement is false. Is it false?
I think that one's a little bit. You know, when they're like objection leading. I think that's what that would be. Like, it's just kind of your theory, man. Like, is it
right? But that is what the whole trial was about, right? Is that they were trying to prove that Amber Heard made all this stuff up. Like, they were trying to prove that Amber Heard did fake this. So we have to decide if we think that she did or did not. What are your thoughts? I mean, this is the time to pick a side. As jurors, you have to pick a side.
Do I think that they called the cops once didn't work, so they tried to mess up the place?
I watched the security footage and the cop body cam footage. When they first got there, it was true that the cops were like, is anything wrong? And they were all like, no, sorry. And they were like, okay, bye. And then when they came back, they kind of like talked to him for a while and walked inside their house and then still said, okay, bye. And they left without doing anything.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
I want to say that... I want to say yes. I think that is true. See, okay, this is hard because did Amber Heard lie a bunch of these times? Sure, probably. But this statement is very specific. Yeah. They said Amber Heard, like, they spilled wine, they got their story straight, they contacted a lawyer, they contacted a publicist. Did they do all that in like a few hours before they called 911? That seems a little That seems a little much.
I agree.
So maybe I would say
I guess
it is
not,
false.
though. I don't know. I guess if they were going to commit to it, you got to commit to the bit.
Commit to the bit? Yeah. They really did commit to the bit if that is the case.
Yeah, it just seems like a little presumptuous that every single detail in this dude's theory is right.
Right. So we're saying that this is false.
Yeah, so maybe this one right here happens to be false.
Okay.
Maybe they don't get this charge exactly.
Then finally, the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice. Again, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I think that is what he thinks happened for sure.
Okay, another one of these.
Mr. Altman, while acting as an agent, here's the statement. We have reached the beginning of the end of Miss Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp.
Okay, this one's cut and dry.
Okay, we have reached the beginning of the end of Miss Heard's abuse hoax. Is it about Miss Heard?
Ding.
Yes. Was it seen? Yes. Is the statement false? So now the question. Okay, so now we're just basically deciding: is this an abuse hoax? Right?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't necessarily
I think
know
it
if
is
started
too.
that way, but I think it is. I think she's gone too far. I think she didn't mean for it to get as big as it was, and now she's stuck on it. You know,
100% agreed. When did you watch that part where her second testimony when Vasquez was questioning her, and Vasquez was like, "You didn't expect for us to get TMZ to testify, did you?" And then she was like, "You didn't expect for us to get every single bodyguard from Johnny Depp to testify. You didn't expect for us to get the property manager for every single place you said Johnny Depp trashed, did you?" And she seemed like she was freaking out because I really do actually think that is what happened.
I literally, my hot take is literally they were a super toxic relationship. I don't think there was much physical abuse. I definitely don't think it was from him. I think she may have hit him a few times. Was Johnny Depp probably physically fine and stuff, except for I guess the finger? Yeah, but I think what really happened is eventually she was just one too big a fight, and he pissed her off just a little too much, and she was like, you know what? Maybe I can just give him a little bit of flack, say a little bad thing about him, and then all of a sudden it became way too big, and she had to keep committing to it, or else she was going to be a liar. And I think that's how it got here.
The other thing that is convincing to me is that normally, when you see people who are abusive, especially if a husband is abusive to his wife, you see that in their past relationships, right? Yeah. But they brought up several of Johnny Depp's past relationships, like Winona Ryder.
Generally,
and
none
Kate
of them
Moss.
have ever said anything.
Yeah, and none of them, and that's what Ben Chu had a killer line in his closing arguments. He said, "This is Me Too without any Me Too." He's like, nobody else came forward. Johnny Depp has dated a lot of women and has been in the Hollywood sphere for a long time, and nobody else has come forward. And which is true. Whenever, take any other celebrity that's been accused of this, Weinstein or whatever his name was. He got arrested and then all this stuff, and then millions of women came out and were like, yeah, this guy's a freak.
Yeah, right? That almost happens with every single time.
And so it's okay, yes, I believe that. And then they also had really credible stories. And then it's okay. Whereas this, nobody else has come forward. Yeah,
and John
that's
a
little
long
sus.
Career.
Yes, and he's been there doing this for a long time. A little sus. Yeah. So I would say that I lean towards that is this.
Yeah, it's just
hoax.
The thing with this case is not necessarily there's some big smoking gun. Each individual piece of this bad looking thing would not be seem too suspicious on its own, but just thing after thing keeps coming out, and everything helps everything else, and it's just okay, it's there's a point where it's just too much.
Yeah, and it's he dated these people for years too. It's not he just had a bunch of flings. He dated Kate Moss for 4 years
to Winona Ryder.
Was he? I don't know. I mean, he has children, so
engaged.
he was married to whatever her face was, I think, and I don't know. It's just a little sus that one person is he is this crazy monstrous violent abuser. Also, she claims she has no reoccurring, she claims that's another thing Vasquez brought up, which is Heard has accused him of some really vicious physical violence that you can't see it on her right now. She doesn't have any scars. She doesn't have anything that shows.
Well, and didn't they actually just this week didn't they have a guy come in who was a data miner for like the FBI or something, and he was like, "Yeah, these are photoshopped."
Yeah,
didn't that happen? Am I making that up?
He didn't say it was photoshopped. He said that they were in a photo editing app.
Yeah,
and then Heard's team tried to argue that they were stored in the photo editing app, but not edited in the photo editing app, which is a little sus.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? As somebody who works with Photoshop a ton, that is a little strange.
Also, I saw a really funny. Shoot, I can't remember what it. I saw a really funny. Crap! It lost my mind. It just left my brain. Oh, she said she used the word. She was talking about the makeup kit that she used to cover up her bruises, supposedly.
Oh,
but
the one that
called
was
it something so suspicious that literally made it seem like it was what she used to put bruises on. She called it like a stage bruise makeup kit.
Well, and then
it was like,
the makeup company
what?
came out and was like, "No, you didn't use that.
Palette didn't even exist then."
Yeah. That is a huge L, right?
There's a huge L. It wasn't even part of the jury. That kind of sucks for Johnny's team too, though. If they probably weren't able to actually use that as actual evidence.
Right. Yeah, I wonder if they would have. Yeah, that is true.
But
I don't know how much I trust that TikTok influencer who works for that makeup company, but
no, it was their
enough.
brand. I mean, it was like their official.
I know, true. Yeah, that was a huge L.
That is a huge L, dude. That's like one of the biggest parts of her cover up.
That being said, it is crazy, like the back and forths, because sure, that's crazy, but at the same time, Heard's makeup artist testified that she often had to cover up bruises and lipstick.
True.
So at this point, who in this trial is about to be arrested for perjury? Tons of people. No matter where this, if the verdict is with Depp or if the verdict is with Heard.
I was just watching a clip
a bunch of people are gonna get.
Amber Heard was talking about how he trashed one of the trailers, and Camille Vasquez. I can't say her name. Yeah, she was like, oh, so he actually came and testified that there wasn't any damage in the trailer that you supposedly said he trashed. So are you accusing Mr. Knight of
perjury?
And she was like, well, I'm not saying. She was like, I'm just saying he wasn't there. And she goes, no, he testified that he was there. So are you calling him a liar? And she was like, trying to come up with stuff to say,
because
and it was like someone's not telling the truth, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. Which is, she's crazy. Yeah, he just said, he was like, yeah, just one light fixture was broken, and it cost about $60.
Yeah,
that's all he said. And he's like, and I didn't. He also said he didn't even notify them because it was such a small minor damage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's go to the next thing.
Move on the next thing.
Yeah. I skipped a couple of statements from Mr. Waldman. Actual malice. Both parties have the burden of proving actual malice by clear and convincing evidence. To meet this burden, each party must prove by clear and convincing evidence that each statement was made or published. 1, with knowledge that the statement was false, or 2, so recklessly as to amount to a willful disregard for the truth. That is, with a high degree of awareness that the statement was probably false. Okay. Actual malice is a subjective analysis that looks to the state of mind of the person who made the statement. If the person who made the statement is believed it was substantially accurate at the time of its publication, then it does not give rise to liability for defamation. Okay. I think I understand.
Oh, so I think this is it. I think the rest of this is just defining terms. I don't think there's any more questions.
Oh, is it? Oh, good. We could have just scrolled down instead of Googling it. The term actual malice should not be confused with the more common meanings of the word malice. Okay, see, Jacob, why didn't we just scroll? Such as ill will or hatred. Actual malice is not established merely because an author was motivated by ill will, prejudice, hostility, hatred, contempt, or even a desire to injure another. Oh, so do we need to take back anything that we...
I don't think so. That was kind of the definition I was going on, actively,
See, I think that actually reaffirms what we said earlier.
Yeah. I think all it means, right, I think basically what that was in fancy legal terms was basically just saying doing something that you consciously know is not true.
Right, especially, and I think especially the part where it says so recklessly as to amount to a willful disregard of the truth.
Yeah.
Like it's either yes, I know I'm lying, or I don't care to know before I publish it.
Yeah, I don't care to find out.
I don't care to get the details straight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I
definitely think that part's true, at least.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any other legal?
I mean, there's a bunch. I don't think
findings
anyone
we
need
need
to see punitive damages.
No burden to prove. You must
reasonable proof, actual damages, presumed damages.
Wait, hold on. No burden or prove truth of statements. You must remember that there is no burden on either party to prove the truth of any of the statements. Both parties were free to offer proof of truth, but by doing so, they did not assume the burden of convincing you to the truth of the statements. The burden remains on each party to prove that the statements he or she complains of are false.
Wait, what?
Dude, maybe I couldn't be a juror. I don't know.
Dude, this is too confusing. This is what I'm saying. I'm glad I wasn't, dude. Jury duty.
Oh, the whole expert witness thing. Dude, did you see that crazy guy?
Yeah.
Did you see that crazy psychiatrist that testified?
Yes, dude. He was hilarious.
Dude, that guy was a cartoon character, bro. Did you see that one part where the lawyer asked him a question and the psychiatrist, I think Dr. Spiegel was his name. He just sat there for let's see what seemed like minutes, and then looked up at the judge and said, "Do I have to answer that?" And the judge goes, "Yes, you have to answer questions."
That's so funny, dude.
Dude, that guy was
legend.
Was wild.
He was a Marvel legend.
And that was Heard Psychiatrist, which says a lot about.
What's this about Amber Heard? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, dude.
Wild.
Oh, man. This whole case, I could not be a lawyer for that reason. But, yeah, man, I don't know. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to...
Yeah, now let's, so based on our verdicts, our findings, what are we saying? Who do you think won? I think if all of I think basically we have to find all of those in favor of Depp for Depp to win this. I'm pretty sure.
Well, each individual one, I think, like I said, is kind of its own case or whatever, like its own charge, you know.
So here's also, do we have to decide how much money is on the line? Because also, like in this case, it's actual damages. Your verdict should be for an amount that will willfully and fairly compensate him for him or her loss or injury to his business, and any insult to him or her, including pain, embarrassment, humiliation, or mental suffering, any injury to his or her reputation, any actual out-of-pocket losses that were caused by the statements.
Oh my gosh. Well, he at least should get $22.5 million.
I think that Heard just has to pay double what she said she was going to pay to the ACLU Foundation.
To the donations. What was that, $7 million?
Yeah.
So $14 million?
She pledged $7 million. What, did you see that clip? That was rough.
Well, yeah, I did. That
She
was
looked
bad.
really
She was like,
bad
well,
on
I'm
that.
pledged to it. And he was like,
She's like, no, but did you donate it? Well, I pledged $7 million.
she's like,
No,
well,
no, no,
I
no,
use
but
those
how
words
much did you
interchangeably.
donate?
And she goes, well, I don't. I was like, jeez.
Yeah, that was rough.
sick.
Like, well, I don't. So how much did you donate?
No, let me tell you how much money Johnny Depp should actually technically get for this. So he was set to be paid $22.5 million for Pirates of the Caribbean 6, which he lost that job. So what's the other one? Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, he also lost that job.
He was paid $13.5 million for that one, which I think he's actually going to end up being in it still. Or no, he was in the first. He already was in one, but he wasn't going to be in the next one. So that was $13.5 million plus the last, 22 million. So he technically should get a lot of money. This is not necessarily.
I mean, he's only suing her for $50 million. She's countersuing him for $100 million.
Jesus, dude, $100 million?
Yeah. Now, that's what I don't understand. I don't understand. So is this case, I don't see how the countersue gets pulled into this. So if Depp loses this, does he owe her $100 million?
I think so.
Or do they then? I just don't understand.
I think it'd be $100 million.
I'm not a lawyer. Hence the disclaimer
You're not
we said at the
Johnny
beginning.
Rottenborn or whatever?
Just his name is not Johnny.
I think it is, dude. I'm pretty sure it's Johnny Rottenborn.
There's no way his name is Johnny Rottenborn. That is a cartoon character.
It's Johnny Rottenborn, dude. I'm telling you.
Johnny Depp on the stand, like absolutely just making fun of him.
It's Benjamin Rottenborn. Ben Rottenborn.
Oh, two Bens.
Ben v. Ben.
Ben v. Ben.
Honestly, Ben bodies. Low diff. Mid diff bodies him, dude. Also,
Okay,
have you heard that slang before? Mid diff, low diff, high diff?
I've heard it, but I
had no clue what it meant until just the other day.
What does it mean?
It's way simpler than I thought it was. It just means like diff just means difficulty. So it's like if you win, if it's easy peasy, it's low diff, low difficulty.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's how. That's the context that I've heard it.
Yeah, me too. Like I've heard that in the context. I just didn't understand which one was which. Like I didn't understand where it came from. For some reason, diff in my head just stood for difference, and I didn't really understand what low difference, mid difference, and high difference was.
Yeah. That checks out.
Yeah, but it's difficulty, and that makes a lot more sense. So Johnny Depp wins low diff.
And then before wait, just before we end this, who did we vote for?
I'm team Depp, I think, but not to say he's a good person, but I think he's probably correct in this scenario in the case. I mean, I think he probably. I just think that she kind of started this. You know what I mean?
I think we have a split jury because I kind of think that I don't want to say I'm team Heard, but I don't think that Heard's statements were actual malice, and I don't think they were completely defamatory.
So you think from a personal level you're team Johnny, but you just think from like an actual legal area you don't think she actually did what he's suing her for?
But see, and then I want to say that, but then I just think about all the whole TMZ thing, and like, you remember her, like, did you watch her deposition from the UK trial when she literally slipped up and said that she released it to TMZ?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
She said so many freaking slip ups. I know that her lawyers must hate her, dude.
Yeah. So I want to say that because like it does, like it's hard for me to not believe all the witnesses she called up that said like, oh yeah, we had to cover bruises all the time with makeup. It's like hard for me to think that person would literally come up there and risk perjury to say that. But at the same time, that's
true.
Man, that is hard. Maybe I wouldn't want to be a juror.
Maybe he did. That's the one that, see, I never saw that clip, so that's the one that's tripping me up now.
The makeup artist?
Yeah, the bruises.
Yeah, her makeup artist came on and said that she often covered up bruises and like swollen lips and stuff with different makeup. And then she testified on what kind of colors and how she would cover up bruises depending on where it was or what it looked like.
You're right. Why is there so many different...
And like, is that person literally risking perjury? I don't know. That's crazy to me.
Sure,
that person would either lie.
Different, like, dang, dude, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not on the jury.
The real question is, if we can't decide about who defamed one another, can we decide, did Amber Heard poop in the bed? I think, yes.
Absolutely. Dude, have you seen the dogs? They're tiny.
Yeah, they are tiny. They are New York. What are they? Are they they're New York Yorkies? Is that what they are?
Yeah. All I'm saying, dude, New York Territory. Why do I think that's the right thing? I don't know. Tiny dogs, regardless. Anyone crazy enough to crap in the bed is also crazy enough to sue someone as a personal attack.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
That is crazy. And no matter what, even if she didn't do it,
she still crapped.
She did not provide enough evidence to make you believe she didn't. You know,
and she can't uncrap that bed. You can win the case, but you can't uncrap the bed.
See, that's the thing. It's like, was Depp's law, or who was it his bodyguard that testified that she said that it was a sick prank? Like, is he risking perjury to make a poop joke? Was he like?
I mean, it
can't
could always
believe
be
that he
honest
was.
mistakes, like misremembering or
Misremembering that
something
she
you
said
don't.
that she pranked him by pooping in his bed. Like that is perjury if that's not true.
Oh man,
Straight up,
yeah,
she
know.
had to have done it.
yeah.
I want
guess
to
so.
believe that she did.
I think so.
Right?
Dude.
Like it's horrible.
Jeez.
Okay,
Man.
where's my gavel? Oh, I also brought this. I forgot to put this.
know
You
if you
can't
can hear
see,
that.
but I forgot to put this pirate hat on before we began.
Oh man,
Not that I was
Right
picking
on.
it. Not that
that's
I'm
got
picking
to
a
be
side
the
or
worst
anything.
pirate I've ever seen.
I've been actually rewatching the Johnny Depp movies, or the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
They're so good, dude. There's one of the best movies scenes of all time is the end of Pirates of the Caribbean 2 when all three of them are after the chest and for their own different motivations that we've like seen brewing the past two movies.
Yeah,
Dude, it's so good.
Although I remember them all extremely fondly, but now that I'm rewatching them, the first two bangers.
Okay,
The second
yeah.
one is
The third
arguably
one-
better than the first one, in my opinion.
One of the greatest, also some of the greatest CGI of all time, dude. And it's like how many
Yeah.
years old?
Yes,
Sick.
Davy Jones is probably one of the best
you fear
on camera.
Death.
Do you
I also do a pretty
fear
good impression.
death?
What else
Yeah,
does
you
he say?
gotta
He's
do
like, I am the sea.
I am the sea.
What's that? One of my favorite quotes though when he goes, Bootstrap Bill, you're a liar and you'll spend an eternity on this boat. I say that
That is a
almost
pretty
daily.
good impression.
Thank you. And then he goes, what's he say? He goes, oh, and Mr. Turner, feel free to take shore. The next, no, what's he say?
Oh,
feel
no,
free
I
to
know
go
what he's
ashore
saying.
the very next time we take port.
Yes, iconic.
It is.
So good. But then you get to the third one, and
Yeah.
the third one starts off so strong, and it goes so downhill so quickly, and it's so sad. Like, why does Jack Sparrow's dad come in the third one? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that, dude. The third one really fell off. And then all the
So
other ones honestly kind of sucked.
Whack. And then, like, come on. I don't make movies, but anybody who watches movies knows, like, well, Captain Jack Sparrow's dad is literally just a carbon copy of him. He's a pirate as well. It's like, that's not good storytelling. A good story would be if Captain Jack Sparrow's dad was like a law-abiding citizen and disapproved of his pirating, but then came together anyway despite it, and like it was a nice
Dang,
father-son
that's
story.
inspiring.
That's a story. It's not a story.
Or if his dad was Davy Jones. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Classic
or some,
Star Wars
or like a
movies.
twist like that. But
was a
instead, they
bad
just like
guy?
randomly introduce his dad, like just randomly in the third movie, like for like
Yeah.
10 seconds, and it's just like wait, what? And it's just so strange. And then
True.
like in the third one, I could go on about this. It's like why is Captain Jack Sparrow some sort of pirate lord all of a sudden? Like,
It's like the god of the pirates. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
I
so
forgot about the third one.
strange.
That is a weird movie.
it's like it starts off really cool, and they're like in Singapore, and it's like a
Yeah.
really cool setting, and they start meeting pirates from like different cultures, and it's
Yeah.
like that is very interesting. Like I like the setting. It's
like world
but then
building,
It's just
yeah.
like introducing just the weirdest,
Yeah, and then
Thanks.
freaking Barbossa comes back in that one, right?
and yeah, he comes back in the second one at the end of the second one.
Well, yeah, but then he's in the third one.
Right, which it's just fine. I don't know, and then the fourth one, which I just started.
Stranger Tides.
It
Also
it
not
is it is all over the place already. I don't know. It's just like they took it way too far. But anyway, full review coming next. That'll be our next.
True,
our next
honestly.
video.
Low-key, I love those movies, dude.
And it's also, my coworker brought this up yesterday, and that it's so strange to, if you know that Johnny Depp is from Kentucky.
Yeah, I saw a thing too because someone thought he was British.
You'd think he's British or like Australian or something. Like,
Yeah.
because he has an accent, but nobody knows. Like, he just made
No,
up
it's,
his
he
own
doesn't
accent.
really. Yeah, it's just like he talks strange. It's not even like
He
a real
just
accent. He's
talks like, I don't
Well, he
know.
doesn't
He's
really
like,
talk like that in real life. He kind of.
I don't know. He kind of talks like Jack Sparrow in real life.
He really does. He like slurs and he talks.
He
kinda
even
like
says
this.
mate all the time.
He does. Maybe he just spends a lot of time in Europe.
Maybe he just like practiced for that role way too much.
Yeah, that's also honestly could be the point.
Okay, unless you have anything else you'd like to add.
Man, I'm gonna go watch Pirates of the Caribbean now.
Yeah. One more thing that I think is just funny is that you remember when did you watch their them interview the Warner Brothers guy, and he was talking about how there was just no chemistry between Amber Heard and Jason Momoa. And that
no.
It was he testified kind of against Depp, but at the same time it was funny because they were like, why did Amber Heard get cut from the script or whatever? Or like, why does her screen time go down? Is it because of all the defamatory statements? And he was like, no, it's just because she didn't have any chemistry with Jason Momoa. And then Heard's lawyer was really trying to recover from that and saying like, isn't that just because, maybe the scene wasn't right or like all this stuff? And he's like, no, a good actor can just really make that chemistry come to life. And it just wasn't there with Heard and Jason Momoa. It was really funny.
Oof. That is funny.
And on that note, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
Feel free to follow us on Instagram at Squabble Podcast.
Yeah.
And subscribe to our YouTube. Also,
check us out on YouTube.
Squabble Studios, where we post more than just these podcasts.
We post a lot of cool stuff that you'd never know about if you didn't check it out.
Facts.
So you got to.
I think that's it.
I would agree. But thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments whose side you're on.
Yeah, whose side are you
other
on?
than that, stay cool, folks.
The verdict will be coming. Hopefully, this will be out before the verdict.
We
is
actually are the judges for this case, and
yeah.
we'll
Behind the scenes, the jurors were never shown, so we could be jurors. You would have no idea.
We could be, actually. This is all just
This is
next year when they announce the names,
they're going to accuse
make
us
an
of
expose.
perjury.
Exactly. We could claim it right now. No one would know. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Our official stance is that we are. I'm not even gonna say it. I feel like we'll get in trouble.
Yeah, I feel like we're already kind of in trouble.
Door.
Like Amber Heard's gonna be coming for us.
Yeah.
Actually, I hope she does. How great would that be? Like
for us?
Yeah.
Publicity wise, true.
Yeah, all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. So Amber Heard, come at me.
Amber Heard, you did poop on the bed. I know for a fact. I was there. See, now I've made a defamatory statement, I think. I think that's how that works.
Amber Heard pooped on my bed as well. I'm also a victim of the bed pooping.
I am a victim of defecation.
Oh, gosh.
There we
okay.
go.
Yeah, we're going to end the episode. Thank you, guys. Oh, man.
Thanks for tuning in. We will snap
you later.
You later.
Oh, shoot. Snap.